Yeah. Hey, my friends, how are you doing? Thanks for joining me tonight, better said. All right, good. So I'm hoping you're having a good time. And also this time, Friday, so you can have the Sunday for the family to enjoy your Advent. Is it the third Advent already? I'm not quite sure. The second Advent, the third Advent. One of those it is. So yeah, you have some time for that. That's pretty cool. Hi Eric, thanks for joining me on the live stream. Hi Arno, thanks for joining. Everybody else, join in if you want to. Say hello, say where you're from. That's also always pretty cool. And yeah, that's really, really nice. Let me turn this off here real quick. Yes, we can turn this off. That's good. Hi Mickey, how are you doing? Where you're from? Let me know. So today we're going to talk about what are we going to talk about? About Photolab 5. That's it. There we go. Hey, by the way, I have a little bit hair back. I'm growing it in. I'm looking into how that looks. If I still have some hair left, so let's see about that. Okay, and we have some Christmas decoration here too. I wanted to put on a Christmas hat today, the red one, with the white thing hanging down, but I didn't find it. So yeah, that's not happening. All right. Okay. If you're in my Facebook group, you should really join my Facebook group, by the way. I talked about what I'm doing next year. I can talk about this in this stream also a little bit. So basically, what I want to do next year is to do my first, to get more into photo projects rather than shooting individual shootings. You know what I mean? So yeah, to figure out what kind of project could it be. What could I do? Is it something that I do locally here, or is it something I do like on a trip where I have to travel somewhere? How long is the project going to be? What's the subject going to be about the project? So it's all going to be very interesting, and I want to share that with you to so you have a view into the process. My background, as you might know, is fine arts. I've studied that at the university, so I have some connection, of course, on how to plan art projects, stuff like that. But now it's about a photography project. It's, of course, going to be different than an art project. And yeah, I want to document that also. So, by the way, this is also, I can ask you right away here in the stream. I was thinking about replacing the weekly stream with a video, an additional video that is, for example, about this photo project or other stuff like reviews. Like, for example, recently I found a really good photo backpack that I want to show you. And stuff like that, And then occasionally I do a stream. Like right now, I'm doing it every 2 weeks instead of every 1 week. So we could think about that, no? Yeah. So that's kind of the plans for next year. By the way, right now I'm in the talks with a really good photographer who does photographic projects. He has videos online on how to plan them, and to get him for an interview so we can talk about these kind of things. And this time I will not do it in the live stream. I will pre-record that so I simply can cut the best stuff from that interview, and you don't have to sit there for 2 hours or longer like last time and listen to everything we have to talk about. And then maybe I'm also going to make the full version available on Patreon if people really want to see that, so my Patreon supporters can get that. Yeah, that could be good. Hi, Lesen Schreiben from Germany. How you doing? Mickey is from Fort Wayne in Indiana. Hi, I hope I pronounced that right. And Jan from Denmark. Hi, how are you doing? So yeah, that's gonna be really interesting. I'm pretty open about what it could be with the photographic project. I will also show you how I edit that and talk about why I decided different things in the project. So the whole process should be pretty interesting. And if it's going well, if the results are good, I think maybe, I don't know how long the project's going to be, but at the end of the project, we could maybe even think about a Kickstarter if we can print that as a book, maybe. If you enjoy that, I'm not sure. If you don't want that, it's also okay. Maybe I find a publisher or something. We can figure that out. It's a big experiment. Hi, Sinvo from Czechia. How do you pronounce it, actually? Czech Republic? No. I'm sure. Czechia. I'm not sure, sorry. Okay, let me know. Um, right. So yeah, these are the plans for next year. So of course, I'm doing all my normal Affinity photo tutorials and Nick collection and Photolab stuff and stuff like that. So nothing about that changes. I'm gonna do the 2 videos per week, the 2 tutorials per week as normal, and then occasionally I post a video about the project, or I do a third video per week. I have to figure that out. And also, of course, I give you probably more information in my Facebook group and also maybe on my Patreon, where, as you know, I have more interaction because I post the questions and the polls and discuss with you and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff going on. All right, let's switch over to the screen. Oh, by the way, the weekly project, kind of nobody cared for that. I don't know. Maybe I announced it only 2 days ago, so I was really late on that. Yeah, and nobody nobody took part in that in a short time. I thought that the task is easy, so I wanted you to post one of your photos and then search for another photo that's similar on Unsplash that you like more, and then explain what you like more, and we could talk about that, that kind of process. Because I'm always having this kind of thing for myself. I'm not sure if you doing that, but that you have something that you shoot and then you see another picture and you think, oh, I wish I could do it like that, or like this is kind of, it looks really cool. I want to learn from that, from that process. And I think that's a nice, interesting learning process to do that. All right, let's switch over here for the screen for the work live view. Yes. Oh no, there's the Black Friday thing still. Sorry, this is already over. Don't look at that. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. Sorry for that. Okay. So we do have, now I have bought Photolab 5. I just updated it to 5.1. I'm not sure what changed, so I can't tell you about that. Yeah, but this is 5. I had 2 and 3 before that. And interestingly enough, you can install them in parallel, which is also interesting. And then right now I also have a demo of the film pack, because they also have that on their website. By the way, this is not an advertisement or something. I'm not promoting that. I'm showing you what I like about that. Should you upgrade or not? Is it worth the money? Stuff like that. You can ask me questions in the chat if you want to. That would also be great. Hi, Alexander from Bolivia. How are you doing? Awesome to have you here. And again, the name I can't read, from Portugal. Hi, how are you doing? I think it's just written in a funny way, but you pronounce it like it's written, right? Kochmohab? Kochmohab? Maybe? I don't know. Czech Republic. Yes, that's it. That's it. Thank you very much for that. All right. Okay, let's go here. So, I don't know if you know Affinity Photolab 3. And in Photolab 3, on the right side, you had a really long list of all the things you could do, and it was very hard to find the adjustments you need. And the big change in 5, and I'm not sure if this is actually worth the money to upgrade, the big change is that now you have tabs here on the right side, as you can see, and you can simply zoom into them. And that's basically the big thing. And mostly they stay within the screen. Right now I have to scroll a little bit because I'm always changing my resolution to 1080p when I'm streaming or recording tutorials. So the icons are bigger for you, but that also means that the interface is bigger for me. And usually this would not be anything where I have to scroll right now. Then you can see here, so we have these kind of settings. It's light, color, detail, geometry, local adjustments, and then watermarks and FX is a individual tab here. And there you have the color settings here, channel mixes, everything is open. And then you have here your detail, chromatic aberration, denoise, which is nice. Lens sharpening, you can also use that, stuff like that. Moire, how to reduce that. So you see they have some features in there that you don't find in other software tools. For example, I think Affinity Photo doesn't have anything for moire as far as I know. Moire is when you have either a pattern that is very like, for example, a checkerboard pattern on your shirt that is very fine and overlaps with the grid of your screen. And then you get these strange bendy lines. It looks not good. And you can fix that. And some software tools have something to fix that, as apparently Photolab does, right? By the way, you also get these kind of pop-ups here. So when you go here, not everywhere apparently, it tells you what's going on, lens sharpening, what it does, and you can click here and learn more. So that's nice. You can also turn it off. Vastec? What is Vastec? Augustine? I'm not sure what that means. Bart says, hi from St. Louis. Hey, how are you doing? Thanks. I have Photolab 5, and for me, the upgrade is worth it. Tell me, what do you think is worth about that? Like, what is the thing where you said, hey, yeah, that's good. That's what I want. Like, because now let's just have a look at the features first and then talk about these things. But you can already write in the comments. I can read that. Then you can crop here. You can do distortions here. You can see correction, focusing distance. So there's a lot of adjustments here. There you have local adjustments, which you also can do up here, and where you can do the brightness and sharpness, the contrast, all these kind of things locally based on the area. And then also, as you can see here now, you have a chroma mask, you have a luma mask. So that's really nice. Affinity Photo needs to get up to that level because everybody now has chroma mask and luma mask built in. Affinity Photo doesn't, and that's not great because that's such an important feature, especially if you want to adjust pictures. Of course, Affinity Photo does a lot of things that this stuff you can't do. So it's like, it really depends on what you want to do, right? I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying they have different functions, but these are some kind of key features, especially also with photo editing. It would be nice to be able to have a chroma key. And chroma means the color, right? So you can say, I want to have from the picture, this kind of brightness just on this kind of color, and then make a selection, right? And that's really useful. Like, for example, when you select the face, you can say, okay, just that orange tone. Ignore everything around, just that orange tone. Select that. And that area of orange tone, right, as a mask. So that's pretty cool. That's very, very fast to work with that. And then effects, you can do some blur here, a vignette. You can do some filters. The filter is the color, the film pack here actually, and the frame. So I'm not sure if this is around normally. I feel like a lot of this here is part of the film pack demo, and the film pack is not that cheap actually. Let me have a look here what that costs. Whoops, sorry. DxO, and the film pack is basically the same thing as you have in Nick Collection. Oh, they have another sale already. Okay, so 30% off if you want to have that. There's the film pack. Let's check out. 109. Wow. Okay. 140 normally. Dude, let me some room to breathe here. Holy man. 140. That's more than software costs. Like, you can get the whole Affinity Photo Suite just for the film pack. And the film pack basically does what Silver Versa does in Nick Collection. So they kind of duplicate these functions a little bit. And now the interesting thing is when you do it in Photolab, it's non-destructive and it will be saved as a preset, right? So you can just move the sliders around and it's applied to your picture, and then you can just go on to the next picture, make another variation. So it's quicker, and you can just store it inside of your library. While in Nick Collection, you have to first convert it into a TIFF from the RAW. Here you can apply directly to the RAW. So you have to convert the RAW into a TIFF, and then you have to apply it to a TIFF. And there's kind of a version where they say it's non-destructive. You can go back into the file and then do more adjustments, but that's kind of hidden. I never figured out how to do that like in an easy way. And here it's just built in. So that's kind of a benefit here, right? By the way, I want to show you something that's really cool. And I just saw that maybe this came with this update. Oh my god, now I have to find that, and maybe I don't. Oh, there it is. Here, it says DxO Film Pack Time Machine. Look at that. Look at what's happening here. So, boom, you click on that, and this opens up. It reminds me a little bit of when they did these albums at the beginning of the, what was it called? The iPod. the iPod Touch, where they had, it looks like an iPhone, but it's like just a music player. And then they had these albums with the artworks and the text and stuff like it. They wanted to recreate the feeling when you buy a vinyl album that you can open up and have all that stuff inside with the booklet and stuff. So this kind of reminds me of that. And the cool thing here is you click on this and then they give you a bit of history. I see here with famous pictures and stuff. You can also scroll over. You have really impressive shots of famous people and shots that you know from history. I don't know that shot specifically or this one, but of course Marilyn Monroe, everybody knows. And then down here you can see Kodak 3X or X. You can click on that. Boom! And it's applied to my picture. It doesn't look exactly like that because I still have a different photo. But it's in that style. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty amazing, you know? That is very, pretty awesome to have that. And then you can go to another century. You see, here is another famous picture, another one. You see, this text down here, it changes to the picture you're looking at. So that's pretty impressive. Oh, we talked about this last time. You see, Ansel Adams, you know, and then you can read some text about that, and you click on that, and boom, it's on your picture. You see, now it looks different. Let's go here. So you can see this is a little bit with color. Let's click on that. 1940 FP. I'm not sure what FP means, but there we go. You have a little bit of color in here. And yeah, so it kind of tries to get that look. Of course, my picture is a little bit different, but it's really interesting. And these are simulating classic films, so that's pretty cool. About 110, even on the reduced price. Whew, that's a bite. That's a sting. I don't know if I would spend that. I'm not going to spend it because I already have Nick Collection and I bought that too. So I'm not made from money. Come on, I got some better things to do than spend all my money on different filters. But if you don't have that Nick Collection, you think, well, black and white is kind of my style. And they not only have black and white, as you can see here, like this is also film pack, and now it's like color photos from 2000. Is that applied to the picture? Is it applied? I don't think it's applied because it looks still very like low. Do I have to reset it in between? Oh, this is now applied. Okay, interesting. Let's reapply this one here. Wait a second. Let me reset that picture in between and then click again. Yes, now it looks better. So we have to reset. That's actually... that's not that great. You should be able to click on that and then it changes all the settings so it fits and you don't have to reset every time. But you can see this is a lot closer. So I'm really impressed with this here. I find that's really cool. Yeah, so very nice. 2010. So the recent past. Yeah, oh, there's also black and white. Right. By the way, I started in my Facebook group to also ask you questions about different things. You like do you think, I asked something about black and white photography. Is it still important? Something along that line. So it's really interesting to see all these responses from you. Oh, that's a nice one. I like that. That's getting pretty bright here. Pretty cool. Very interesting. And you have a bit of story too. They should do more of those. I really enjoy that historic link here with the text and stuff. By the way, I've never read any of these texts. Let's read that. White House photographers. Being a photographer for the President of the United States is not an easy job. It is a bit like photographing the star of a race and then running hard so you can photograph the finish. Each occupant of the White House carefully chooses the person who will accompany his or her hectic life and that of his or her family. Each of them have a different photographer, really? I thought it's just one for I don't know, the president and his immediate surrounding. The private life of the president being clearly part of his or her public life during his or her term of office. Although do you see that, the private life? I've never seen a photo of the president in pajamas eating cornflakes or something. So it's that's what or watching Saturday Night Live or something like that. It's private life is really part of that. I don't think so. Anyways, at the end of January 2017, Sheila, is it Sheila? Do you pronounce it Sheila? Craighead took over for Pete Souza, who had just spent 8 years, wow, with President Obama. Obviously, Shiala, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, had to avoid provoking the same reactions as that of the 6th President of the United States, John Quincy Adams, who was daguerreotyped in 1843 and subsequently declared the image hideous. Oh, okay. But as portrait photographer used to say, you are responsible for the face you make, not for the face you have. Okay, interesting. Anyways, where was the train station pic taken? That's in Vienna at the Westbahnhof. So I had this amazing model here. He's called Hussein. And I should maybe link his Instagram. Is that a good idea? I think I should do that. Instagram. Let me find that real quick. So I can put that in the channel. I should also put that in the video description, to be honest. And I wanted to edit some of these photos today. And of course, right now Instagram is not loading. There we go. There we go. That's him. Yes, that's him. He's amazing. He's also an actor. And he's living in Vienna. And I think also in Hamburg. Okay. Hi, White Wizard from Gloucester, England. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. And Bart from St. Louis. Hi, thanks for joining. All right. Yeah, so I think mainly the changes are that everything is sorted here on the right side. Don't discount the film pack because that's not part of Photolab 5. But the rest here is the stuff that you can see here right now on the screen. And of course, by the way, I do have the elite version, as they call it. And so you have functions like Clear View Plus, which is kind of a dehaze, but it does a bit more stuff like that. So there's some extra stuff in here that I have with that. Not too much, by the way. I think Clearview is it, and then also I have for the refinement, I have the prime denoise. I think the normal denoise is also pretty good, and then the prime denoise is, and there's also deep prime now. Okay, interesting. Ultimate quality by machine learning, so they also jumped on the AI train. Another thing I hope Affinity Photo is doing soon, because everybody and their mom already has AI, so they gotta do that too. Come on, it's a new thing, you know. The new age. All right, let's go about playing around with this photo. Let's reset this real quick. By the way, I can show you some choices I made. I took, I think, about over 1,000 pictures on that day, and then I selected some of them so we can have a look at that. Let's go here to the photo library, and then I can pull this up here. Oh, maybe not. Or yes, let's pull this up for a second so you can see I have him in different positions. He had this amazing suitcase. I want to mainly edit these photos here where he's holding the newspaper, select some of them, edit them. There's also these ones with where he's standing in front of the train, like this one here, for example, or this one. I have already edited them, but I actually have to admit I edited them in Lightroom. In Lightroom Classic, actually, because it creates a different look that I really enjoy, and for these kind of photos here. We could also have a look at that, maybe. I don't know. You let me know in the chat if you want to see that. Changes back to Sunday. Is that better? I thought maybe Friday. I made a vote, and a lot of people said Friday. So I thought maybe Friday is better because then people have Saturday where they don't work, while on Monday you have to work. So that's kind of a problem for a lot of people to stay up late. And then have to go to work on a Monday, right? And on a Friday, you're into weekend anyway, so it doesn't matter how long you're up. On the other hand, you might have already better plans on a Friday. Maybe we can move it to another day. But most people said either Friday or Sunday. So yeah. I made a poll. By the way, it's interesting. I made a poll in my Facebook group, and I made a poll in my YouTube community on YouTube. And the community tab is what I mean by that. And it had different results, which was really interesting. I think on YouTube, more people said, let me check this real quick. More people said that they want to have it on a Friday, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me go here. Let's see. This is the challenge where nobody took part. I don't know why. Kind of didn't work. Is the link the wrong link here, maybe? No, the link works. No, not a single entry. Maybe it was a too short notice. I was a little bit late this time. There is it, you see? Oh no, 47. Wow. Oh, this changed in recent times. Okay. I thought most people here said Friday, but then 50% said Sunday. So we can move it back to Sunday. And 164 votes here. We can also check this out on, let me see here. We can check this out on Facebook, what Facebook says to that. No, that's something different. Yeah, here a lot of people said Friday, but it's a lot less votes than on the YouTube tab. So that's interesting. By the way, join my Facebook community. There's a lot of stuff, interesting stuff going on, discussions and people sharing and asking, and it's really, really cool. So check that out. This is my Facebook group. All right, so let's go back to editing here and see what we can do here. All right. Oh, I want to show you something maybe. Let's go here to Lightroom Classic real quick. Did it open or did I just close it? Oh, it opens. Okay, cool. I want to show you something real quick. So that's like every software has a little bit of speciality on how to do things. Export. Okay. Good. So we have the same pictures here. You see, I have already edited a lot of these pictures here, the stuff with the train. Also, I have different crops. You can see here, for example, this picture here. And you can see like the nice colors. And this is kind of more this kind of Lightroom look. It's different. When you look at the, I like the quality of the lens. Really nice. So you see I have a little bit of blue in here. I have a little bit of red, like a different red in here on that red. And then we have this crop where we are a little bit closer. We see more of the face. And then we also have this crop, which is more for Instagram, the 4:5 format for Instagram. And now the thing is what Lightroom is doing and why this is in some regards interesting for different looks on color is when you look here, for example, for the hue, if I have red, I can't just go crazy with red and just bend it any kind of way I want to. It goes from this kind of pinkish red to this kind of orange red. And then we have orange, and orange goes from the reddish orange to the greenish yellow. And then we have yellow and goes from the orange yellow to the greenish yellow, a bit more greenish yellow. So you are in a certain range, and that's what they like created for you, where they say that's it, you can do this and that's that, you know. And this is why you have these Lightroom looks, because the interface is built in a certain way so you get these results in a quicker way. So these are basically shortcuts that they help you process faster, but at the same time they limit you and give you a certain look, right? And so you can see that when you look at these pictures here, they look more, a little bit more digital and a little bit more like Lightroom pictures, like Adobe pictures, right? And then you have these looks from Nick Collection and from Photolab, and you can see that they look. Can I make this bigger here? Whoa! Yeah, look at that, like the nice scrunch texture here. Let's go like this. And you can see they look a lot softer. Of course, this is now a black and white look, so that looks, of course, softer. But still, there is a lot different like feeling to it, you know? This feels a lot more like it's actually from a classic analog print than this would feel that this is an actual film scene or something, because still it has this kind of digital touch in it. But at the same time, you can quickly get these looks. And they have some nice tasty colors in them, like this specific blue that is here on the jacket. By the way, some said on my tutorials where I made the same look in Affinity Photo that the blue was too strong. And that was my mistake because I thought I make the blue stronger so that it looks, you can actually see that in the video, because the recording is sometimes different when you do it with OBS. So the colors are a little bit more muted. So I did it stronger than it needs to be. And then it looked a little bit goofy from the blue. So here's actually the better blue for that. More like an ink blue, you know? So that's very nice. Anyways, let's go on here. Let's close this and let's go back to what we actually want to do, which is to look at Photolab. And let's have a look here. Oh, wait a second, not this. I don't want to edit this one. I want to go down here and then let's have a look real quick through these pictures here, which we should edit. Let's have a look how they look. Let's close this here so we can have a bigger picture. You can also see, by the way, from the interface, okay, first of all, over here I have some presets. And then when I close that, almost all of my screen is filled with the picture. And then I have these adjustments here on the right side. And that is a big help if you want to do adjustments, because you want to see the picture as big as possible and have a good impression on how it looks in total. So how the different values play with each other. So a screen filling way to edit that picture is actually a good way, rather than having it surrounded by a lot of things. So in that way, it's kind of cool that you can do that. That you have this like real, it really uses a lot of the screen real estate for the picture, basically. All right. What is the chat saying? 1 second. Mickey says, doesn't matter to me. I'm retired. Oh, okay. I see. Yes. Anyone using Topaz Mask AI? I have to look. I have it, but I didn't really look into it too far. I tried it a little bit. It was not that impressive. But I have to go deeper into that and look at that. But I thought like AI, it sounded like you click on a button and it completely understands what is going on. For example, by the way, this is another thing where Lightroom is pretty awesome. In the new thing on Lightroom, where you say select subject, it really very much knows what the subject is and what not. And it's pretty impressive. Like not just the face, also the arm, the jacket, the stuff, like really pretty cool that the software understands and makes a really nice selection around the subject with one click. So that's pretty cool. And this is not part of what Photolab can do, for example. All right. Let's try to figure out what we want to do here. So let's have a look at the picture. Should we do this in black and white? Maybe we could try that. By the way, can I turn off these? Yes, let's turn off these highlights. It's a little bit annoying here. Contrast, we can set the contrast. Smart light is a really nice adjustment too, which decides based on the content which is going to be what parts need to be lighter, what parts need to be darker. So that's also very, very nice. You can also make it spot weighted. Although personally I didn't have too much success with spot weighted, I rather like the complete look. So you can see here when I do it spot weighted. Let's select the face again. There it is, the face. And then you do adjustments. It kind of takes into consideration the person a bit more, is what the idea is here. But usually I use uniform and it works better for what I want to do with that. Anyways, let's have a look here on the color rendering, accentuation, the vibrancy. You can set different renderings here also, which is very nice. We could use the black and white pack, but I actually don't want to use that right now because it's not. I want to show you Photolab 5. You know. Down here we have split toning, which you can set to black and white. Again, by the way, this is a little bit what I'm a little bit annoyed about is you have it's called simple toning and split toning, but split toning is only available if you have the film pack, which is for a professional RAW like development tool, they should have split toning. It's such a simple tool, but they don't. It's not part of that. You can get sepia and that's it. And all these rest of the things here, I think they have one more. I think selenium is also part of the normal pack. And then if you don't have the film pack, you can't really do split toning. So that's not something you can use. And for black and white, I think also these many choices here are not there. But you have landscape, portrait, and black and white. I'm pretty sure you have black and white in that regard. Cloud Strife says, since you mentioned doing more photography projects and you have many images in the folder, you should talk about how you approach the culling process. That is, yeah, that's also interesting. I could do a video about that. Like culling is the sorting out of the videos you don't, the photos you don't want to have. So I use different software for that. Different programs. Like for example, I use Adobe Bridge, which is actually for free. You can use that for free. It's pretty fast, and it's for every kind of media, not just photos. That's nice. Photolab can do some sorting, and also Lightroom can do some sorting. So yeah, and then I basically look through the pictures and look at the shots that I like, and then from the shots that I like, I look at the ones that are sharp or not sharp. Sharp or blurred, and then I think like after some time when you let it sit, you kind of figure out if you really like that picture or not. Like here again, we have some. Let's actually look through the shots. Can I change the shots like this? No, let's go back here to the library. We wanted to look through the shots. Sorry, it's a little bit. It's a little bit confusing right now. Let's go back here to the normal pace. So let me see. We are here. Yes. Okay. So I think I can now go with the arrow keys. Can I do that? This is a virtual copy. 1 second. No, this is a DNG file. Oh, there's a DNG file for each of them. I didn't know that. Maybe we can filter it out. Oh, yes. Raw images. Okay. Thank you very much. So let's go like this. Okay. Okay, now we only have the raw file. So there's also some filtering here, which is very nice. We can say, okay, these with the 5 stars and then only the raw images. And yeah, you can do also some other settings here. Hi, Arno. How are you doing? Where are you from? Has says for some cool black and white stars, you can choose black and white film from color renderings. Film from color renderings. Interesting. Okay. Arno says, I joined the live stream. What are you talking about? We're talking about Photolab today. Is it worth the upgrade? What does it do? Is it good? How does it work together with Affinity Photo, stuff like that? It's not a plugin, by the way. And by the way, I have to point this out. I don't understand when people have a beef about something not being a plugin, but an external tool. Like, how is that different if it's a plugin or not? I don't get that, because it's a tool. It's a software tool. You use it and then you bring the picture over and use it in another software. If it's a plugin or not, what's the difference? To me, there's no difference, because you always use multiple tools. At least I do. Maybe you don't, but I do. So because I want to have the benefits of these different tools, right? Okay, let's have a look at the pictures here. So we have this. I already selected those pictures, by the way. Then we have that guy. I want to have perspective, but I had a hard time like getting a good perspective with this kind of, like, you see where all the lines go back here, and I still wanted to have him in the foreground. So we are searching a little bit for that. That's kind of nice here. It's a little bit dark in the shadows. We can bring that up, no problem. This one is a little bit closer. Different perspective. Let's go to the next one. Here's looking to the other side. Very nice look. Bit more emotion in here, so that might be a winner. It's always good also to look at how can you cut, how can you crop it afterwards for different social media formats, maybe, right? Is blocking. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, the chat is blocking. Oh God, where can we put the chat? Should we? Oh, sorry, that's not the chat. Should we maybe hide the chat? Yes, maybe hide the chat today. It's not useful in this case. Let's see where the chat is. That's the chat. Okay, there we go. And then supporters, we can move the supporters here in the middle. Oh God, I have to rebuild my thing here after the stream. Why is it always moving the background? 1 second. So this is my last supporter. There we go. Okay. Hey, by the way, I forgot. I can make polls. I've never seen that. You can make polls. Let's do that right now. Do you use more than one photo editing software? Question mark. All right, let's do this. So we can try this out. It's really cool. There we go. Yes and no. I think, yeah, let's see 2 options. Should be right here something. Yes and no. All right. Ask community. There we go. So now you can... you can fill the poll. Let's try that. New function. There we go. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look through these pictures here. So that's pretty nice. That's also pretty nice here. It takes a little bit to load. Oh, and these are the other pictures. So this is not what is in question right now. So we basically have a choice between these. Let's have a look here. So, yeah. I like this one very much because it also brings the perspective in. The perspective is going a little bit away from him, but I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I kind of like this the best. And I think we could also crop this in a nice way as an Instagram shot afterwards. This first one is also nice. This is a little bit disconnected here, but it's also nice. It's not like you're not engaged, but you feel like a viewer, like who's walking past and there's no interaction between you and this. This feels more like documentary style, although it's staged, so it's not documentary. And then, where's the other one? And this one is nice, but it feels more like a film scene because you feel like he's like you're watching a movie or something, right? It's not this kind of scene that looks like documentation or something, right? Best combination is Capture One and Photoshop, since you are asking us. Affinity Photo Strength comes in price and the ability to use it without having to be connected to the internet. Oh yeah, that's also a big thing. Like if you're somewhere and you don't have internet and you want to use Adobe software, then yeah, there's not much you can do about that. So it's not really great. Multiple installs? Multiple installs of what? The software? Yes, you're welcome, Mickey. Getting from Germany, I don't have time right now, so only giving thumbs up. Okay, thank you very much, Pavel. I see. So a lot of people seem to be busy on Fridays. Okay. Anyways, let's do this. Let's do some editing here. Cloudy tungsten. Oh, here you can change the white balance, which is also very nice. By the way, you can sometimes do some fake white balance. For example, let's set this to tungsten. No, that's not the one. Let me see. Daylight. Maybe we have to use a photo that's more inside. Flash. Maybe like this. Shade. Underwater? No, not underwater. Because if you use analog film, the film is basically pre-defined as the white balance you're supposed to do at that moment. So you could actually change the analog film for different situations, but nobody's doing it. So by using the wrong white balance on a different situation, you get a kind of more analog look, you know, if the software supports that, if it has these kind of settings as here. Otherwise, you maybe can also do it by hand. But here, for example, you get different settings, right? And when you go here in like cloudy, you can see the cloudy colors look a little bit more analog, I feel like, as the more digital things when you have it as shot. The as shot is more perfect, I would say. But if you set it to cloudy, it looks a bit more warm, a bit more analog, right? So that's very interesting. You can play around with that. So yeah, different options. So you can see down here the settings. But this is the thing. If you have these presets, you don't need to know the values. And if you don't have them, you need to know you need to have the experience, you need to have the knowledge. So this is why these shortcuts are pretty good for these kind of things. By the way, you can also see here that they have a channel mixer up here, but then they also have HSL up here. So you can see that you can do some adjustments for the channel mixer individually. Although this is apparently not about color. Okay. No, it is. It's just the saturation and brightness at the same time. Interesting. I haven't done too much with the 5 version so far, to be honest. Interesting. Okay. Is there some... Oh, it's just for black and white. Okay. Wow, that's a fail. Okay, I didn't expect that. That's just for black and white, apparently. And so, let me see. Fighting a black and white conversion by increasing or decreasing the brightness of specific color areas. Oh, this is why I don't know that. This is part of the film pack. You see here it says in brackets, the film pack is required. So this is why I have no idea what that is, because I've never seen that. Interesting. This is not part of the normal software. Can I turn off the film pack maybe for the moment? Is that possible that we just disable that? Change demo edition, activate film pack? No. And there's also the viewpoint film pack. These are things you get in Nick collection, but anyways. Okay. Multiple installs. Yes, the software. But why would you need multiple installs of the same software? Oh, you mean on different devices? Yes, yeah, that's a benefit, right? I think it's still limited on Affinity Photo, right? It's still limited to maybe, I don't know, two computers or something like that. Okay, so not using the channel mixer here. Again, let's think about what we want to do here with this picture. Let me see at the picture. Let me zoom in also a little bit here. Okay, so first of all, let's do some detail work here. So let's go into that. So let's do some sharpening here, details, global sharpening. We can push this up a little bit. And then the details. So we have some crisp hair here, and this is also nice up here. And when you edit a male photo, you often want to have a little bit more roughness on the skin and on the details. Not that like, especially with him, he has like a rougher expression, right? So you want to have that. Don't want to make it look too soft. And also because the skin has more detail, right? If you look at the male body, it has a lot more, how can I say, structure in the surface. There's a lot more stuff going on, right? With all the, what is it called? Like all the wrinkles, all the hair, sometimes the muscles, the folds, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. You can do a lot with that kind of detail and expressiveness, right? And often also, like, it really depends on what you do and who you photograph, but often you want, for example, wouldn't do like the skin too soft or to like remove all of the unpleasantries or something like that. You keep a lot of that around, right? Okay, let's do the bokeh soft. Let's see a difference here. Bokeh sharp, bokeh soft doesn't really seem to do much right now. Okay, by the way, what I also like here is you can turn this on and off if you want to or not. Why is this? Oh, sorry. I'm clicking on the wrong button. I'm an idiot today. I'm not sure what's going on. So you can see I can just turn this on and off to see the before and after. By the way, Photolab has a little bit of a downside where some of the effects you only see from a level of 75 and upwards. So sometimes you don't see that. You have to really zoom in. And then you're actually seeing, right now, you have a lot of difference when you look here at the beard, for example, at the forehead, you see how the sharpness brings in a lot of detail here. And when you zoom out to, let's say, 50%, it looks blurry. It is not blurry, but it looks blurry. I don't know why the software does that. That is one of my least favorite features in that software, that you don't really see the actual picture. I think it makes like a render that is a little bit smaller, so the effects go more smoothly. but it's not great for when you want to edit that and really see how that's your adjustments, for example, like contrast and stuff like that, influences the smaller details on the overall of the picture. In Lightroom, for example, you get that. I think in Affinity Photo too. It doesn't simplify it down, render it in a smaller version. Everyone leave a like. That would be cool. If you want to, that would be awesome. The eyes tells you if he can see the effect. The eyes tells you if you can see the effect. Yeah, right. So you have to zoom into that. By the way, I want to show you this local adjustment. Do we? Let's first do some more settings here before we go on. We don't have red eye. We don't need to repair anything. We have an unsharpened mask. We can also apply that. Let's see. Let's go in here again. Oh, nice. Look at that. Before, after. It's a very slight change. You can see here on the beard, upper beard, you get a little bit more detail here. And you can, of course, also intensify that a little bit. So yeah, there we go. And suddenly your lens looks like it's the sharpest thing ever. And you have applied some settings to that. Look at here, the hair, also nice. We don't want to make it too crisp. It should still look like hair, not like metal. So let's go here a little bit lower. Okay, cool. That looks good. All right. And you can see with these pages, it's so much easier to just find what you want to adjust here. So that's really, really useful to have that. Okay, let's go on here. By the way, if you have other questions or other comments, or like I said, you said before you like Photolab, you think it's worth the upgrade, let me know why. So, because a lot of the settings it has are exactly the same. So what I feel like the biggest impact, at least from how I use it, was that you have this very well-organized interface now, and you have the local adjustments, which now have luminance and chrominance mask, right? Okay, let's go here for example, you have here contrast, micro contrast. That's also nice. Let's push this up a little bit. Maybe the overall contrast. You see, for this, we have to zoom out. Let's see, contrast. Let's bring in some more detail here. So that's pretty good. Bring this down a little bit. Bring the micro contrast up a little bit. Not too much. Let's zoom in here again, 75%. There we go. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, cool. All right. So from the lighting, it's actually good. Midtones, shadows, we can play around with that. This is another thing that is different in different software tools. Wow, this is full screen. Sorry for that. Shadow adjustment, highlight adjustment. So similar to Affinity Photo, Photolab is still better for RAW, but bringing up the shadows still brings up all of the values. You can see here when I push up the shadows, everything gets brighter. I push it down, everything gets darker. And this is again the difference between Lightroom and Photolab and Affinity Photo, that Lightroom does only the shadows and only the highlights when you do the highlight slider. And these software tools do a little bit more, right? So often you feel invited to actually use the local adjustment, because there you can limit it down to actually the shadow area and what you want to edit in that regard. So let's make a local adjustment here real quick. I don't need that right now. Can we close that? Right click. Oh, okay, there we go. One thing that's nice that you're seeing right now is for the local adjustments, you have this right click and then you have this wheel, and that wheel has a lot of different tools for you. Like you can make a control line, control point, control line. Then you can have a gradient filter, and you can also brush it in, or you can have an auto mask, which when you brush it kind of tries to figure out what the outer areas of that is. Most of the time you use a control point and you set it here, and you can adjust the size of that. And then when you hit E on the keyboard, on Mac you have like a little menu down here that shows you preview the mask or not. On Windows you have to hit E. It's not E. It's not E. Okay, let's see what it is. There we go. It's M. Yes, it's M. Okay, good. That makes a lot more sense. M. There we go. And now you can see this is the mask that is happening right now. And you can see how this selects only certain areas of the picture. And then for this, when I go here to my local adjustments, you can see this is the control point. I've selected it right now. And now I can select the chroma mask. So you can see this will then finer isolate it to only that chromatic area, and then also you can define the luminance area, so you can say, okay, only that part of the jacket I want to influence. I want to do a little bit more here though. Let's go like this, and then click M again, or press M again on your keyboard, and now you can adjust this specifically here. And the interesting thing is that here it looks like the classic Viveza, because in Viveza right now the controls are on the right side and you have to like look here and control over here, while now they have integrated in Photolab basically the same function, and the controls are here in the middle where you also edit. The upside is you have it where you want it, where you're editing actually, so you don't have to look left, right, left, right. The downside is it overlaps the area that you want to edit. So yeah, it really depends on what you like more, right? Let's go here. You see, you get a little bit of preview what all these sliders are and an icon on top. So let's go here and make these shadows here a little bit brighter so we see more of the shirt. This is a little bit lagging. I think the lag is coming from the reason that I'm streaming right now. So usually there's no lag. This is very smooth. So this has to do with me also using OBS to stream. I hope my voice is not getting crackly and you can still hear what I'm saying, because that can be also an effect of that. And you can see now we have, for example, the shirt a little bit brighter. You can also turn this on and off, you see. So when this is off, the shirt is dark, has very little details, and when I turn it on, the shirt is getting more gray, and I get some more details in here. So it's pretty nice. And of course, you can decide how much you want of that. So maybe let's bring it down a notch, because the shirt is getting too gray. But that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty nice that you can do it like that. We can do a second control point here on the face if you want to. Oh, by the way, sorry. If you create a second point right away, this is a child point of the original point. So all of the settings that you do down here are also applied to this point up here. So you can delete that with the delete button. And then you have to basically make a new point. You have to click here to deselect that one, and now I can create a new one. And the reason you know it's a new one is because you see it has this blue circle in here. So that's a nice thing. And here you have these kind of light settings, you have color settings, and you have detail settings. So you can, for example, say, I want to have the face sharper than the rest of the image, or I want to have it more desaturated. Like, for example, here I want to bring the saturation a little bit down. It's here. This is also the vibrancy. Let's bring the vibrancy a little bit down on the face. Let's go like this, just a little bit, so it's not like too orange. And there we go. We've made some local adjustments on that. It's cutting the voice a bit when you're doing adjustments. That's not good. I'm sorry for that. So maybe Photolab 5 needs more power, or something is wrong with my computer, because recently I have the feeling that my computer is lagging on things it has never lagged before. Okay, so we did some basic adjustments here in Photolab for the image. And now the thing is, and this is what I don't like too much about it, is in Photolab you don't really have good tools for color grading or creating a style. Like in Affinity Photo, these tools are better, so you could now switch over to Affinity Photo, or you could go into Nik Collection, where you have all these different packs for filters and adjustments to get these different looks. That could be nice. That's basically a little bit also the benefit of Lightroom, where you have the adjustments that we have done right now, also local adjustments, and then you also have very good color tools. So that's kind of a pity that they don't have that integrated here. You have this down here with HSL adjustment, and you can use that, of course. The downside is, first of all, this is just HSL, so it kind of it's applied to the color that you're editing over all of the image. And it's not split toning in that sense, right? And I think also Lightroom, for example, is the only one that has 3 different areas. It has shadows, midtones, and highlights. I have never seen that in another software, at least the ones that I'm using. So that's really also interesting for color grading. Of course, in Affinity Photo, you also have these other adjustments and the curves and stuff like that. So you can technically do it if you know how. Also, as you can see here, this is not limited in any way. So I can go here and say, okay, I have the red color and make it green, for example, which is nice in the sense that you can do it. But you can also easily overdo it, right? So yeah, that's really interesting. So you can, for example, if you want to, you can adjust this a little bit and figure out what kind of direction you want to go with that, right? By the way, we can try to see when we go, for example, let's go here for this darker blue, and then you can color pick here, hue pick. Let's pick here on that jacket. Let's see what kind of hue that is. It's actually kind of a blue hue already, so it's pretty interesting. And then I can move this around. Let's go a little bit closer here. Let's go like this. Let's see how this changes anything. Well, it does actually change. You see how this is changing? You can adjust the saturation, so you can make more blue or less blue. You can also adjust the luminosity and the uniformity. By the way, this is something you don't really have in Affinity Photo. You have other adjustments there, but when you're looking for these HSL adjustments, you can only adjust the color. Wait a second, let me open this up real quick. Let's make a new document here, or maybe let's open something up. Sorry, it's on a second screen. I will show you in a second. One moment. And again, I'm not comparing them. I'm saying, okay, this can do this and this can do that. Let's open this up here. This is an export. Is this an export from Lightroom? I don't think so. Anyways, so you can see here when I have my HSL adjustment, you can see you can adjust the hue shift here. And then you can have the saturation and luminosity of that. Which is the same thing, huh? What am I missing here? 1 second. Oh no, wait a second. Am I thinking about the wrong thing here? Yes, I'm thinking about the wrong thing. Oh my god, I'm an idiot again. I'm sorry. In split toning, which Photolab doesn't have at all unless you have the pack, the film pack. In split toning in Photolab, you only have saturation and nothing else, which is a little bit of a bummer because you cannot adjust the tint of that area here, right? So you can set to say, okay, I want the highlights to be orange and I want the saturation to be that high. But then you can't say how dark that orange is supposed to be, right? So there's no adjustment for that, right? Which is a little bit, yeah, could be good if it was there. Let's do some adjustment here real quick. Let me see. Let's take this blue point, put it again on here. Let's zoom in here a little bit. This is, by the way, this is a huge benefit I like from Affinity Photo, that you can scroll with your mouse for the zoom when you hold the control key. That is very, very nice. You can do that and also move around with your middle mouse key. So it also has a lot of benefits in how it works. Let's go here. By the way, what I would like here is, and I don't think it has that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But as far as I know, Affinity Photo does not have a button that regulates the speed of your mouse when you move a slider. Like, for example, you could say when I move this, it has this kind of range, and then I hold the Alt key and move it, and it moves in a slower pace, so I can make finer movements in here. But it doesn't do that, right? So this is. And this line is not really that long, right? If you would have it around here, like you have it in Photolab, like this, you see, this is a long distance that you can move, and it's maybe a little bit easier to do that. I don't think this has anything to slow down the mouse either, but at least you have a long distance to go around with your mouse, and here the distance is a little bit slower. So this, I would like to have this move around that circle, so I have better control over these values. But what I want to do here is, let's bring this down a little. Actually, that looks pretty good. Look at that. That looks actually very nice. Let's play with the saturation. Okay. Yeah, pretty cool. So you can actually do the color grading and the rest of the stuff in Affinity Photo, right? And this, by the way, I think maybe, let me know if this is like, if you watch this and you find this confusing, that you have an extra software which is not that cheap, to be honest, and then you just make some simple adjustments, and then you go over to the next software. And now I switched the picture for some reason. Or no, I didn't. It's the same picture. No, it isn't. What is going on? Did I just delete the picture? What? Wait a second. Have I just deleted the picture? Come on. Oh, I think I changed probably the rating. Let's reset this. Yes, there's a lot more pictures here. I think I pushed here something and changed the rating, right? What was the other picture? What is going on right now? I'm sorry, I'm confused. Oh, there it is. That's the one. Okay, let's go back here. Sorry. No, it's... Am I crazy right now? Now it's gone again. It's this... I think I really deleted it. What? What is going on? Because you see the DNG picture is still here, but the raw picture is gone. Is there no undo for this? Okay. That just happened. What? What is going on right now? It's probably in the bin. I can still recover it, or maybe it's on the disk anyways. Let's have a... Can we... Wait a second. Can we go to the... Show input folder, yes, please. Did I delete the picture right now? No, it's still here. Then why isn't it in Photolab? Let's drag this in here again. Can I do that? Sorry for this confusing stream right now. It's really stupid. I know. I have no idea where that picture went. It's called 2133, and it's just a DNG. I see the raw over here, and when I drag it in, it's not showing up. Should we edit a different picture? I don't know. What is going on right now? I'm so sorry. I also forgot what we talked about. This is the worst stream ever. I'm sorry. This is crazy. You see, there's a lot of different pictures here that I took. There's another one. Am I crazy? What's going on right now? 33. There it is. Oh, it doesn't have the star rating. For some reason, star rating was removed. Okay. I think this should fix it. Wow, okay. So this, yeah. Shocking, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for that. That's really crazy. At least we fixed that really quickly. Whew. It's cutting the wall. Okay, yeah, good. Yeah. So I would like to edit this in black and white, actually. I don't want to use the black and white pack because we are talking about, so maybe let's go over to Affinity Photo right now, right? Should we do that? Let's do that. Let's do some edit here. Or should we talk some more about Photolab and looking at the different functions? Let's make another poll here. Can I do another poll? Oh, I have to end this, end poll. Everybody said yes? No. 79% said yes. And now the poll is already gone. Okay. And I only can do one? Oh, no, there's another one. Oh, there it is. Really? 21% use more? Use just one software. It's interesting. What should we do next? More Photolab 5. Do Affinity Photo. Okay, let's ask. Boom! There you can vote again. I kind of like the vote. Did it? Does it work? Do you see a vote? Because I can't see it right now. So sieht also moderne SZ-Leser aus. Jo! Good. All right. So it was not that many adjustments here. By the way, let's have a look again at the blue here because I want to see that because in Affinity Photo it's fairly easy to get a nice looking blue. So let's select this here again. Let's pick it from here maybe. Why does it take so long? There we go. And then so that always also looks good. This is going more into the green, and this is going more into the violet a little bit. Do we still have the image over here open? It's a different photo, of course. Oh, I deleted the HSL adjustment. It's interesting. Let me see. We could, by the way, we could also edit it in both softwares at the same time if my computer can take that. Let me see here. So this is going a little bit more into the green actually here. See the saturation. Interesting. That looks pretty nice. I'm really surprised by that. It's so good to compare different software tools. Okay, let's go here a little bit to the green. We are not working on the same picture, of course, right now, but But I like how that looks actually. Zoom out here. It's interesting. In this case, it's a very subtle change. Interesting. We could also play around. Let's go here and then pick this color here maybe. Then have a look at that. Again, let's zoom in. Let's say 50% here. Go like this. Again, it looks blurry. That's Photolab for you. I don't know why it does that. I mean, if we move that, we have a little bit of the teal and orange look. I'm not sure if that's ideal. Because I don't want this to look too playful. And I thought like black and white is actually more interesting for that. It's there? What do you mean it's there? I'm not sure what you mean by that. What does the... The vote is 50-50. Okay, I will export this. Let's export this actually to JPEG. Export to disk. Export to NIC collection we could also do. Export to application. Can we select... Oh, okay, we have to find the application, which is not great. Let's not do that right now. Let's just export this to JPEG. Export to disk, JPEG, desktop. No, not really. Where should we put that? Yeah, let's put it on the desktop. Anyways, I can find it there again. Export. Okay, good. And then we can open it up here. I can close this. I'm really surprised how good this looks right now. And for my personal view, the choice of these different software tools is that you can just get different results. And you want to be as expressive as possible, or not, let's not say as expressive as possible. It's more about finding the way you want to express yourself through the photography and through the editing. And of course, the editing is a big part of that. Even if you say, oh no, I'm classic, I do everything in camera, you still have to develop the picture, right? And the development of the picture still has a huge impact on how the picture is going to look afterwards. The process you do you do it on paper or on other materials? How do you do the development on paper? And of course, as you know, a paper picture looks different when you show it as a slideshow on the wall. So there's still, even in classic formats, there's a lot of choice, and you have the choice of film, stuff like that. So there's a lot of choice involved. You can't deny that. And of course, software is basically doing that, but digitally. So you have this palette of possibilities, but digitally. And different softwares give you different results, right? So you have to think about what do I want to do in that kind of process. Okay, anyways, let's go in here and do some black and white adjustment and figure that out. And by the way, this is another thing I don't really like. I think it could be better because you can see here, it doesn't use too much real estate of the screen. For example, one thing I don't understand about Affinity Photo is, even if I go to 0, and this should be as big as possible on my viewer here on my screen, I have this gap up here, down here on the sides. Why is that? Why is it not bigger? You know, why is it not like a little bit more zoomed in? And then if I click tabs to hide everything, I still have a lot of, like, you see the distance here to the like end of my screen, and up here there's a huge distance around that. And if you have in Photolab, see how big that is in comparison. Like, this is the biggest I can go from the natural settings in Affinity Photo, and this is the biggest it is in Photolab. That's a huge difference, right, on size. And you don't even have the menu on the side right now, right? So that's interesting. Okay, anyways, let's go here and have these settings. Let's go to, not the white balance, sorry for that. Oh, by the way, we can look into white balance and have a look here. No, sorry. Sorry, we have to go to adjustments and then here white balance. Okay, and yeah, there's not really too much in here from the presets. So, and this is the thing you also have sometimes in other software, is that they have this kind of presets. You also, interestingly enough, have it in Lightroom, a different one, by the way, not this kind of thing, tungsten and stuff like that. And this is also where you can see how the software is set up with what kind of concept behind the software, right? So let's open, sorry, we are jumping through different software tools today, but it's good. We try to compare different software tools, right? I don't want to rate you right now. Go away. Everything's jumping at me tonight. Please don't crash. Let's see if something happening. Okay, cool. There we go. So what you can do here is profile. You can do a profile here. It's not, it's the white balance. You can see you also have these kind of things here with tungsten and stuff, which is also interesting. You have that in here. But then you also have these kind of color profiles. And you have these here, like landscape, portrait, standard, vivid, monochrome. But then you can browse, and you can browse through a lot more. You see, you have these artistic profiles here and stuff like that. And this also gives you a live preview, which is nice. And this gives you a quick access to different kinds of color profiles on how then all of the rest of your adjustments, because you can see I'm not changing the adjustments. I'm just applying these kind of profiles here. And yeah, that's pretty interesting. By the way, I'm just thinking right now, are they LUTs? I don't think they are LUTs, to be honest. They might be LUTs. I've never thought about that. I have to research that. Do you know if they are LUTs or not? Because they look like LUTs, they might be. But I don't see, is there a way to load more LUTs here? I don't, I mean, that could be a thing. but it doesn't. If it was LUTs, why wouldn't there be a button to add more? Wait a second. Import profiles. Let's go to my products and test this theory. There we have the LUTs. Product. Let's go to the Pro Pack. 80 LUTs. There's nothing inside. Oh, there we go. No, it's something else. It's a LCP, DCP kind of stuff here. So it's not a LUT file. It's not a cube file. So that's interesting. It's different. Okay. Anyways, you do have that. Okay, let's go back here. By the way, the colors also look different. Maybe I exported in the wrong way, but I don't think I did. Let's see the export settings here. ICC profile original. Oh, okay. We should have used sRGB maybe. Watermark, no. Let's export this again. Use a unique name and then open it up again and see if that makes a difference. I would be a little bit surprised because I think the Sony camera also photographs in sRGB. Maybe it does not. Come on, please. Export a little bit faster here. What's going on? Okay, maybe it is already there. Let's see. We put it on desktop. Yeah, there we have. This is the second one. No, it looks the same. What? What is going on here right now? Do you see that? It's vastly different. This has a lot more vivid colors than this has. Wait a second. Let me check here the presets. Color profile, sRGB. No, this is using sRGB. So, rendering intent? No, this is okay. Document format is also sRGB, I would say, right? RGB here. So that should be fine. Yes, sRGB. So I'm not sure why the color is different. It's really interesting. Lightroom can't load LUTs. It can't load LUTs? Really interesting. I didn't know that. That's very interesting. But yeah, okay. I mean, you get presets, but of course they are not the same thing. Okay, so let's go back here and do some adjustments. I really like these comparisons between different tools and what they do and what they don't. I'm not sure if you see it the same way. Okay, let's see what we can do here. And this is another thing, by the way, when people say, yeah, you only need practice, you only need to like figure it out, but you can do it in that other tool too. Technically, that is true, but now when you go here to this like film pack, again, not part of Photolab, but still, how would you know exactly the settings to get this kind of picture look? You don't. It's just you wouldn't know that, right? You can do it by taste, but that's a different thing. And sometimes you don't want to apply external presets, but usually you don't know that, the specific settings that you use. And this is kind of the benefit where they say, okay, we arranged it specifically so it looks like that specific time, or it looks like that specific brand film, or it looks like that specific medium. And you would have to know a lot of experience about these areas to know how they look, right? So that's kind of a how to use Hasselblad color. What is Hasselblad color? I'm using Photolab and Affinity workflow and haven't seen this happen. Interesting. Maybe it's a new problem because I just updated LUTs into Lightroom. You can convert LUTs into Lightroom profiles in Camera Raw. That is interesting. I have to check that out. Maybe I can make a Lightroom preset profile pack. Ooh. Get some second income on my LUT pack work. That was a lot of work, by the way. Okay, anyways, let's go back in here. And usually, I mean, you then go ahead and adjust it by taste. But that's, of course, different than knowing exactly how a certain period style looked, right? This is getting a little bit brighter back there. There we go. Okay, so that looks pretty interesting. And then we can start to introduce more stuff here. Let's see. I want to play a little bit with the contrast, and we have to look at different ways of doing the contrast. This is, by the way, again, different thing. In Affinity Photo, you have contrast, and you have levels, and you have curves. So there's a lot of different tools to do that. But you don't have is texture. You have clarity, of course. You don't have micro contrast, and you don't have finer detail contrast, which you have in Photolab. You do, like you've seen before. When you go here, where is it? No, it's here. You see, you have no. That's not it. There, contrast, micro contrast, fine contrast, and then you also have advanced settings for highlights, midtones, shadows. So that's interesting that you have a lot of settings here in that area. And you couldn't, I don't think you could do micro contrast in Affinity Photo, because the tool has to be there. I would not know right now how you would do micro contrast. You can do normal contrast, but how would you do micro contrast? I'm not sure. Maybe there is a trick. Maybe with a high pass filter that is used as the mask on a contrast, it's only going to the finer details. Oh, that brings me to an idea. Let me see. We do have high pass now, but high pass is more for sharpening. But so we have high pass here. Look like this. It's the same as frequency separation. Frequency separation does the work for you, where it separates the layers into a high pass layer and then in a blurred layer, and then it brings it together through the blend mode. Here it's only high pass. And you can see here, this is what it's doing. So now maybe if we would use that as soft light to dodge and burn. Is this micro contrast? Would you say that's micro contrast? What's happening right now on the screen? You see a little bit, a lot of it. That might be micro contrast. Let me check. Let me go here and have good old classic contrast. If I find it, there it is. We have to zoom out. 1 second. So this looks like that. Okay. Let's turn this off. Let's turn this on. What's happening here? Interesting. Let's split this real quick. I want to have a rectangle here, and then I want to have a rectangle here. And then I will put one rectangle on the high pass filter as mask below. So this side now is high pass. And then we turn this on, put it up here, mask to below. And now the right side is our brightness and contrast. So let's push this up. Looks like this. And then let's push this up. And it looks like this. Interesting. That might actually be micro contrast in a certain way, right? Because you can see here that when you look here at these details, you do have more contrast. Like look here at the face structure, right? But when you look at the shirt here, the shirt is still gray, and this is the important part, because you don't want that to have contrast. You want to have the contrast between the shadow and then the part of the shirt that is brighter, but not making the shirt itself darker, which contrast does, because contrast is for the larger bits of the picture. And you can see here on the right side, this contrast is making everything that's dark darker and everything that's bright brighter, right? So maybe we just found out how to do micro contrast outside of that, right? Again, what is Hasselblad color? Let me know that. If you have any, like, describe that a little bit, please. And what does VOH, FIV, I know, and it's for your information, but VOH is what? I'm not sure. Stephanie, please elaborate. What does the poll say, by the way? Most people say do Affinity Photo. Okay, yeah. So we do both right now. we came to the point of jumping back and forward between both of them. So that's also good. So we can end the poll. Thank you very much for that. We do mainly Affinity Photo. Ah, I love the look of this lens. Look at that. How good that looks. All right. So let's delete here these adjustments. And then I have to research that. And if it's micro contrast, I will make a video about that, a tutorial. And if not, I'm wrong. But it looks like it. Let's go in here real quick. Maybe set this to black and white. Let's go here to the split toning. Where is it? And set this to black and... It's already black and white. Oh, it's not turned on. There we go. Okay, and here you have these settings, but they're not part because you need the film pack and like money. Anyways, sorry, I shouldn't do that. I think they will never, they will not sponsor me at all. They are not sponsoring me right now, by the way. With never, I mean never ever. Anyways, what is it? What we wanted to do? Oh yes, the micro contrast. So let's have this rendered here. And then, I mean, that should be part of a professional software that costs like 150 euros or something. I think like. I really think like. By the way, this might come as a shock. I have decided I will not ever put videos about Capture One. Because they made and this, I found this so outrageous that I was really upset by that. They made a Black Friday sale where they said, hey, you can buy our software, which is super expensive, and you get this year's version. You can buy it right now for a limited time for X amount off, not that much anyways. But this is only that version, and then a week later, we are going to bring out the new version. You have to buy the new version. You're not getting a free upgrade. That is no thank you. That is sorry, but no. That's not something I support. That's not how you treat customers. If you tell them, hey, buy this, and then the update comes out like 5 days later, give them the update for free because they just bought the software. That's ridiculous. So this is where I said, no, thank you. If the greed is that hard, no, I'm not supporting that. I don't want to. Even if the software is the best on the market, it might be, but no, sorry. Not gonna do that. I was really upset by that. Sorry that I'm saying it right now, but I was really angry about that they do that. Like, no. Anyways, there we go. What do we want to do? Oh, yes. Oh, God. I'm carried away right now. So micro contrast. Let's set this back here. And I know a lot of people in my community use Capture One. And it's really good that they do. So don't stop using it or anything. I just was too upset to use it. I found their model about splitting the software between different cameras already pretty crazy today, in a time where people shoot with different cameras anyways, and then like that was, I don't know, a little bit too hard. Okay, anyways, by the way, you also have these kind of magic clicks here that choose the value for you. You see, so they say, okay, this is good if you want to have that as a little help, but you can also go you can also do it individually. Like if you want to have really high micro contrast, you can do that. Again, if you look at that, let's have a look here. You can see, for example, this brings out a lot of details here in the shirt. Now suddenly you see there's a hair down here, stuff like that, which here it's kind of blending in. So micro contrast also brings a lot out of the texture. So that's nice. So this result here is actually a lot different. And you can see how now suddenly the beard is super extra crisp compared to before. You see how suddenly this looks kind of not blurry, milky already, almost, you know. So yeah, you can play with that. And again, if we put the contrast, let's look at the shirt. You put the contrast, the shirt is getting darker, you see. And with the micro contrast, the shirt is not getting darker, it's getting more structured. So that's the huge difference here. But in this case, you could, for example, say, well, yeah, but I only want to have the, only on the face. And then you go here to your local adjustments. And there you can do that with this thing here. Does it do that? It doesn't do that? Oh, no, it does. 1 second. It's in here when I find it. There it is. You see? So I can have the micro contrast, but just on the face and not on the shirt down there. So this is where you have this kind of local adjustment benefit, basically. And now it's rendering a little bit. Sorry if this has any impact. Wow, it looks so good. Not the photo, but the picture. How can I say what the camera is doing? I'm not talking about my work. I'm talking about the technology that's built into the lens and the camera. I'm really liking these crisp details. Anyways, let's go back here. You see how this is very similar right now. It's actually pretty much the same, right? Not really, not really. Like if you look here at these little beard hairs and how the tattoo is coming out, it's not that intense here. But we could try to duplicate the high pass filter. Ah, yeah, and now we get more of that. So you have to do that maybe multiple times. Let's have a look here on the shirt. Well, the hair is here, but it's still kind of limited. And again, if you want to have this like local selection, which again, it does not have luminosity or chrominance, luminance, you could still go in here with an ellipse like so, put it on here, and then you can blur that. I feel like my computer is exploding from all the stuff that's going on. And you can use this as a mask, like so, and go and then mask to below. Let me know if my computer is like getting the voice bad right now. My voice is cut off. You see? So I have this now here on the face. I feel like my computer is taking on too much right now. And it's just on the face. I can turn this on and off, and it's just here in the face region. And you can, of course, also have multiple of these masks on here. So I think I can just copy this down here. So it's also on the chest. It didn't copy. It did copy it. Okay, cool. So you can see now one is here, one is there. And the effect should be applied technically to both of them. Is it or is it not? 1 second. No, for some reason it's just up there. That's a bit strange, to be honest. It should be on both. Maybe they cancel each other out. Another thing you can do if you want to, let's delete these two, is, of course, a simple mask will do, and then you can simply brush it in here. That's also a possibility that you can do it like that. Let's set the hardness to 0 here. Make a fairly big brush like so, even bigger please, like so. And then I can simply brush this on here. And now this should be applied just to that. Whoa, I'm missing out on the chat. What is going on here? I'm sorry, I missed out on the chat. Similar to micro... Hazard said it's similar to micro contrast. I don't know the actual algorithm, but I think the basics are the same. Okay, that's interesting. How to use Hasselblad color. Adobe color, a different. Fujifilm is different. Hasselblad is pastel color. Hasselblad is pastel color. Like portrait and landscape. I guess you have to get a profile for that. It might be part, maybe you get that in the film pack. I'm not sure. We can look. But I think the film pack is more about the film, analog film, rather than the cameras. Which, by the way, I mean, the Hasselblad colors come probably from the film, not from the camera, right? Maybe the lens has something to do with that, but still live streaming. How long have we live streamed? I did shopping and you're still live streaming. Yeah, I'm on. Hey, in the past, I would easily stream for like 5 or 6 hours, and I had a lot of fun with that. I would do that if you would like that, but you don't. So that's the thing that's happening. So I really enjoyed that, like sitting here and just working slowly through the process, doing interesting composites for hours on end, and show you the whole artistic process. But you didn't like that too much, so we didn't do that then. And we cut it to 2 hours. So yeah, but which is also okay. It gives me more time on the weekends to do my things. But yeah, it would have been nice. Anyways, the vignette. The vignette is another thing that is different in different softwares. Of course, in Affinity Photo you can do it. You can do it individually if you want to on your own. Just paint it in, for example, or create an overlay with a mask or stuff like that, right? By the way, sorry, I want to quickly go over here because here we also have a vignette tool. And again, we have to check if this is part of the advanced settings. Is this part of the film pack or no? I'm actually not sure. Let's click here. Yeah, it needs a film pack. Come on, come on. What is going on? And this needs a film pack. And this also needs a film pack. And this also needs a film pack. And the watermarking doesn't need the film pack. I hope so. No, doesn't. Okay, cool. Right. I mean, they did some nice things with the film pack, to be honest. Like, let's see what they have in here. These are different color styles. There's a vignette here. Intensity, you can set the vignette around that. You can set the midpoint. And you can set the center where it should be. You see, like you can move that around. This is, by the way, this is something I absolutely want in Affinity Photo, to allow me to set the center point of the vignette, because right now you can't. You have this filter here, vignette, and then you can do these settings. And I'm not sure why that is not part, because if you have depth of field in Affinity Photo, you can set the center, but with vignette you cannot set the center. So that's a bit strange. And also another thing I would like to have here, and of course I understand if it's you have a software and it's $50 and then you have a software that's $150, they have different amounts of money to do that or development for the software, of course. So I cannot say, hey, I want this and this and that, and just pay $50 for a software. It doesn't work like that. So I completely understand that. But it would be nice for the vignette to be to take into consideration the brightness of that area, which you can do in some other tools, where you say, okay, should it be uniformly darker, or should it like pay attention to how dark and bright the areas are, and then take that into consideration when creating that. I think it's called Protect Highlights or something like that. I'm not quite sure right now. Is it in here? Transition routeness? No. It doesn't have that either. I think Lightroom does have that though, where you make a vignette and then it adapts to the to what's in the image. By the way, a thing that that Affinity Photo has, as far as I know, but Photolab does not have, is to adjust the vignette to the cropped image. Let's make a hard vignette here right now, so I can show you the effect. So let's go like this. Which looks ugly. I just want to show you the effect. So you can see how this follows the shape of the image. And now if I crop the image down to, let's say, this, you see the image, the vignette is readjusting. Of course, it's not like completely you don't have a round vignette now. You maybe have to do some readjustments here, but at least this is following the crop. It's trying to follow the crop, so that's pretty good. And as far as I know, in Photolab this is not happening. I might be wrong though. We will check that out in a second. One moment. Let's do this real quick. Let's go here and make a vignette, intensity, and then transition, make it like this, and then make it smaller like so. It looks like an old villain movie right now. That's pretty cool. Let's set this to the center here. And now let's crop this. Up here's the crop tool. And bring this down to here, for example. Let's see what the vignette does. Oh, the vignette is reapplied. I didn't know that. I think this is with the new version. Because I'm pretty sure in the past I did not do that. I'm pretty sure that was not part of the version 3 of Photolab. I could be wrong though. But I'm pretty sure I can remember that I thought, oh, I have to go into another software to do the vignette because this tool can't do what I need to do. So I'm kind of sure. All right, anyways, let's go back here to Affinity Photo. And by the way, another thing, today is Christmas. We can wish, dear Santa, it's not Christmas today, it's Christmas time. We can make a wish of list of wishes. It would be really cool if you can have multiple of these windows here open at the same time and not have them open and pop down continuously. So you could set stuff up at the same time, right? That would be really nice to have them open at the same time. Maybe at the second screen, like you could fill the second screen with all the sliders and then quickly go through all the settings you need. And that would also help with setting up an interface here. We say, okay, I want to have this and this and this and that slider. Always be open, please. And then I can just make my adjustments. By the way, if you set it up like this with these adjustments, if you say, okay, I want to have more photos like this, I want to do more like that, what you can do is save that as a template. So you have these adjustments for the next time, and then you load in the photo, set it as the lowest layer, because all of the adjustments need to be above that. And then you fine adjust that so it fits to the image. And there you go. You cannot really apply it in like a batch process. This is another thing that would be cool, but you at least have a template where you say, okay, I like this style. For example, like I say, okay, Hasselblad. I get me some Hasselblad pictures. I try to set up all the settings. It looks like that. And then you save it as a template. And next time you load in a picture, you have kind of that look, right? And it's more versatile than a LUT, because in a LUT you can't adjust afterwards, only the strength of the LUT. And so you can really fine adjust everything, right? Whew, okay, enough talking. Okay. So what should we do here next? Like I want to have some vignette here, of course, and we would have to adjust the vignette afterwards to, we would have to readjust the vignette afterwards to the different crop sizes. So that works, but I want to have it a little bit more centered to the middle because it's a little bit too bright around the outsides. I think that's pretty okay, you see? It's kind of a bit more balanced here on the outside. It's barely visible, but I think the most important changes you make to a photo are mostly barely visible. I would actually like to have some more contrast here on the chest here. By the way, here you have a case where a luminance mask, would be very, very useful. Because now when I say, I want to influence just how dark the tattoos are, how would you do that at that moment, you know? That is, I mean, I found a workaround how to do that with the blend ranges of your layer in the layer tab. But that's kind of, yeah, you know, it's kind of I can show you real quick. I have actually made a video about that, but I'll show you real quick. By the way, we are hitting on 2 hours. Let me know if you like this kind of stream or not. I found it really interesting to compare these things, but I might be more of a geek when it comes to the technical parts of these things. So let me know. So what you can do here is you set it. Let's close Photolab here real quick. I actually, to be honest, I thought I'm going to edit more photos today in this live stream, but I didn't, because we talked a lot about the different functions of the software. Oh, this is now, let's set it up here. So this is actually in color. Why is this everything so slow right now? I don't know. Anyways. Okay, so now what I can do is I put this in a group, and then I apply here my blend options, underlying composition, and then I bring this down. And this should technically, yes, as you can see here, now I'm seeing the areas that are selected by, because Affinity Photo, and this is the strange thing, has a luminosity mask, but you can't apply it to the adjustments because it's only part of the layer. And it doesn't give you a preview. If it would have a preview, this is what is actually missing, is a preview for this luminosity mask that you can actually already apply to everything, but it's just you can't see what is going on because there's no way to do that right now. So actually it does have, but at the same time doesn't have that function. So now that you have set that up, what you can do next is that you create here your adjustment that you want to have, like so. And then you turn off the rectangle because the settings you have done here are for the group. So it applies to everything in the group, which means now you know where that is applied as luminosity. And then you can bring that down. And it should get darker, which it doesn't right now. I don't know why. Let's make it brighter. Oh, I know why. Because the rectangle is still in there, that means that this curve is applied to the rectangle. So we have to move the rectangle out of the group. This is an extra step. And now if I pull this down, you can see that the tattoos are getting darker. And this is basically exactly what we want to have here. And then, of course, another thing you have to do here is that you have to brush it out from the areas where you don't want to have that, right? So you basically, let's see if that works. Yes, create a mask here. We can invert the mask, layer invert, and then I can brush this onto the areas we actually want to have that. I need to do that in white. 1 second, there is my color. Let's do it like this. So I can brush this on here. So you can see that now we have contrast on just the tattoos and nothing else. You see, when I turn this off, it's only making the tattoos darker, but not so much the rest of the image. Well, it does do the shirt down here because I have brushed that in too. By the way, you do have a preview for your mask. When you hold Alt and then click on the mask, you do get a preview. What does the chat say? Too slow, too many things open. Maybe, but right now only Affinity Photo is open, so it shouldn't be a problem. I think I might have to go through the painful process of setting my computer up again, which is going to be really interesting this time because I have a backup with an online service, and I have no idea how that backup is going to work when I reinstall my computer. That's gonna be interesting. Or maybe I can fix it some other way. I'm not sure. It's probably some driver problem or something like that. The registry is probably filled with some stuff that shouldn't be there. But it's really, really slow right now. I'm not sure what's going on. We could have a look real quick. Sorry. I hope the stream is still there. What is going on here? You see, it's not really... Oh, there. Affinity Photo is using a lot? No, not really. You see? Everything is down. And still, I'm getting... I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Chrome is using some memory, of course, because I have the stream open. But the rest, I mean, OBS is doing some stuff, but there's nothing particularly extreme going on my computer right now. It's really strange. I'm not sure what is going on. Anyways, this is kind of a way on how you could do a luminance mask on different areas of your image. You can see it's also grabbing a little bit of the beard, so you can also paint that out here if you want to. Yeah, but that works. And you can do some cool stuff. So you do a basic setup in Photolab. And Photolab is really good for raw development and these kind of finer things to prepare the file until you want to then do all these kind of artistic things. And then you can either do Nick Collection, but today we talked about Affinity Photo and Photolab, or you can do it in Affinity Photo right away. Yeah. And again, the thing to remember is that these software tools are set up in a way that give you different solutions faster and easier. And that is the thing to keep in mind, that you might want to spend a little bit on a second tool because it can do some things faster than the other tool. And so when you over the years edit hundreds of pictures, you save up all that time rather than sitting there for hours. You can do it there quickly and get that result, and then go over to the other software and do the rest of the stuff there. And so this is why I have different software tools that I'm using kind of in the workflow, in the pipeline, whatever you want to call that, to go through that process, right? Okay, and also with the culling, I think we could do a video about that. Maybe next year, that would be good in part of about the photo projects and stuff like that. Anyways. Okay, we are at 2 hours. There's nothing to review this week for our weekly challenge because nobody took part this time. It's the first ever that this happened, but yeah, that's okay too. Don't worry about that. Let's close these things here, and yeah. Oh, let's go to the talk view real quick so we can talk a little bit more before I go. There we go. The Christmas time. Father Christmas. There we go. All right. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed that today. I really enjoyed that. But I like these comparison and looking into the functions and stuff. I was a little bit irritated by all these things that the film pack has added. So sorry if it was a bit confusing at times. I thought it would be a good idea because then I can show you that the film pack is there, but I didn't expect that then I get lost in the interface because suddenly it has controls that I have never used before because they have never been there before. So yeah. Christmas preparations, no time for anything else. That's true. Yes, everybody has Christmas preparations to do right now. So that's true. Yeah. Busy time of the year. Maybe Affinity Photo isn't using GPU acceleration. No, I turned it off because then it's getting it was unstable in the past. Maybe it's stable now. That might be the case. I'm not quite sure about that. I have to try that if it's now stable with GPU support. Yeah. But I think there's in general something wrong with my computer right now because I also have problem with DaVinci Resolve, with the video editing software. It's not running completely smooth. I have to figure some stuff out. If you know a good cleaning tool, maybe some repair tool that I could use, that is not full with bloatware and stuff like that, just like cleaning up the registry or stuff like that. That would be cool if you have any ideas about that. Maybe a free tool. It could maybe also be a paid tool if it's good and does save me hours on reinstalling everything on my computer. Okay. Yeah. There's also the reinstall on Windows, by the way, where everything is kept on the drive. I think it keeps all the files and only wipes all the software and does a clean install, but it keeps all your private files. So maybe I'm going to do that. And then I have to download everything and then like set up everything again. Oh God, that's going to be so painful. Anyways, sometimes, yeah, you have to do that. Oh man, try Ocean Cleaner. No, CC Cleaner. CC Cleaner. CC Cleaner. Oh, I know that. Is that good? I had that for back in the day when I had an iPad. I used that, and it didn't feel like it's actually doing what it's supposed to do. Like it cleaned a lot of stuff that was in the caches, but the caches were using it, so the caches right after cleaning filled up with the same stuff because the computer is using that. So I'm not sure if it's actually doing the job, but I will look into that. Maybe it's better for PC to like check the registry and clean up all the connections between the files and the file writes and all these kind of things. Whew. All right. Yeah. Is there? Yeah. Okay. I'm still doing some videos, by the way. This is not the end. I'm not going into the Christmas time. And by the way, I'm still working on the on the online course that I wanted to publish last month, at the end of last month, it was the beginner course, and I kind of knew I should not do that. I should do another online course because it's so complicated and so many videos. But I kind of wanted to because I thought it's a good service to give beginners a good start into the software. So yeah, I'm still figuring out how to do that, because the biggest problem about that is that everybody uses the software differently. You can do digital paintings, you can do composites, you can do like architecture photography, you can do your holiday pictures, you can do black and white. There's so many things you can do with Affinity Photo. I think when you, for example, would do a beginner course on Photolab, that would be a lot easier, because Photolab is used just for raw editing and then some artistic styles. But Affinity Photo can be anything, right? So if you would explain, for example, the brush tool, you can use that for so many things, or the shapes in there, so many things, you know, as a layout element, as a decoration element, as a mask element. There's so many things you can do with that. So it's pretty crazy. Privacy eraser. Wow, that sounds like something from, what is it called? that sci-fi movie, Judge Dredd. Yeah. Anyways, I will look in that too. Thank you very much for that. Privacy eraser. Okay. Cleans history files. But is it more about the history? Because I'm more talking about all the ways the software sets up itself. And then this can be like filling up and like the different things that have been installed, they hinder each other in the registry. So I have to figure that out. Anyways, thank you very much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed that. And it was interesting. By the way, again, please join my Facebook group. That would be really, really awesome. There's almost, like, I think over 3,500 people in there. Very helpful, lovely people. So yeah, you're also very welcome for that. Norton Utilities. Okay, cool. So I will check these out. Let's have a look if we find something, or I have to take the time to reinstall everything, which probably is a full day or two. But anyways, that's the pains you have to go through in our computer age. All right, good. Oh, by the way, I have to look for the music. Where's the music? Let's take this music here. Okay, I would say, oh, I think it's playing automatically. I'm not sure. Okay, good. Thank you very much. And we still see each other before Christmas. Don't worry about that. I think I'm also going to do a live stream before Christmas again. Do we have time for that? Yes, we have time for that. So that's good. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and see you soon. Bye.